from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Good evening. This is the 9 p.m. news telecast of the prestigious channel of Sri Lanka. I'm Movin Hettiarachchi.
A very good evening to you. I'm Sharifah Tahir. Let's take a look at the headlines.
Steps to be taken to appoint chairman through consensus among councillors in local government councils without clear majority. World Bank assistance for Sri Lanka's future development agenda. The second round of papal conclave tonight. Parliamentarians appointed to 6 electoral oversight committees. General Secretary of JVP says no alliances with political parties rejected by the people. Government stance regarding Indo-Pakistan crisis to be in accordance with the non-aligned policy. International certification for Sri Lankan cargo. Pakistan launches drones and missiles targeting India.
We move on to those and other stories in detail now, taking a look at local news first. Elections Commissioner General Saman Sri Ratnayaka says that additional local government commissioners will notify the selected chairman after discussions with the councillors obtaining their consensus where clear majority has not been obtained.
He made this observation explaining to us whom will be selected for the posts of chairmen in the local government institutions where a political party has not secured the majority of the vote or as 50%. The Election Commissioner General Saman Sri Ratnayaka said that in case of local government institution which fails to secure a majority of more than 50% by a single political group or party, the posts of mayor, deputy mayor, chairman or vice chairman will be selected by the local government commissioners. They will assemble in the councillors after consultation, select a councillor for the local government institutions. He also pointed out that already the Commission is in a position of a list of names of those who have won the divisional level. Returning officers will be handed over to the responsibility of issuing gazette notifications in accordance with the number of councillors to be named from each political party to the concerned councils. After the gazette notification, the councillors will be able to engage in their duties in the respective posts of the councils. He also said that within the week of the gazette notification, local government commissioners will hold meetings and inform the decisions of the local government election commission, after which the gazette notification concerning all local government institutions will be issued.
It has been mentioned in the Parliament today that the National People's Power has secured a commendable victory at the local government elections 2025. Leader of the House, Bimal Ratnayaka, said that certain organisers of the opposition failed to secure their seats. Parliamentarian Ajit P. Pereira said that the ruling party received a resounding defeat. Responding, Minister Bimal Ratnayaka said that most of the opposition MPs were unable to secure their seats. UNP and SJB, for the first time in history, failed to secure power even in a single municipal council. Parliamentarian Harshana Rajakarna said that there is no such huge victory, although the ruling party is making a noise about it. There are about 180 local government institutions where if the position comes together, they will be in a majority for their administration. Minister Samantha Vidyaratna said that the last local government election was held for 339 local government institutions and 267 out of them has been won by the NPP. Not even the Sri Lanka Podujana Peramana will be able to secure that much seats way back in 2018. The NPP has an absolute majority in 120 local government institutions and it will be able to establish administrations in them. In 32 local government institutions, there has been an equal position and action will be taken in accordance with the Act in this respect so that neither SJB nor UNP has any occasion to celebrate.
General Secretary of the Janata Vimukti Peramuna, Tilvin Silva, says that National People's Power will not enter into a coalition with any political party rejected by the people. He made these remarks participating in the Mahajana Dinaya program last night, telecasted by the national television. General Secretary of the Janata Mukti Peramuna, Tilvin Silva, said that the National People's Power has won 267 local government institutions, out of which the party will be able to establish administration of 152 councils. He pointed out that although the Samag Jana Balawegaya have won 14 councils, in 13 councils they do not have a majority. And as per district level results, Colombo, Gampaha, Kandy, Nuwara and Kurunegala have been secured by the NPP. The SJB won 2 councils in Kalutara, 4 in Kandy, 2 in Matale, 1 each in Parnathan, Baliko and Tirukomale. However, the NPP secured a majority. People have provided it with the single-party majority, so the NPP can establish governance in all those councils. Tilvin Silva elaborated that the party will not enter a coalition with any kind, especially with parties such as UNP, SLPP and SJB, which were rejected by the people. In case any independent group or any single individual is willing, the party is ready to consider their request.
Members of several political parties expressed their opinion regarding the local government election. Rawan Wijewardena of the UNP said that the party is satisfied with the results of the local government election and the United National Party is in a position to establish administrations in certain institutions. Steps are being taken to consult other political parties in this regard.
ඕනෑම පක්ෂයක් සමග සජබේ හෝ වේවා ස්වාධීන පක්ෂ හෝ වේවා අනිත් පක්ෂ හෝ වේවා කැලත් එක්ක සාකච්ඡා කරන්නට අපි ඉදිරිපත් වෙනවා. ඒ සභාපතිවරු නම්
Mujibur Rahman of SJB said that there is no majority for National People's Power in Colombo Municipal Council, and it had been so, the opposition will not be in a position to do anything about it. Under these circumstances, the mayor has to be selected from the votes of the elected councillors. The party is hopeful that it will receive the support of other groups for the post of mayor in the Colombo Municipal Council to the candidate forwarded by the Samaki Jana Balawegaya.
Minister Dr. Nalin Jayatissa revealed in Parliament that an amount of 1,027 billion rupees have been spent on foreign tours during the administrations of the former President Ranil Wickremesinghe. The minister made these revelations, tabling a detailed report on the benefits approved from those foreign tours. Deputy Minister Harshanan Nanaikar said that when compared to other countries, there are at least 30 to 40 lawyers per million people. Parliamentarian Ajit P. Pereira questioned as to how one can clarify the issues regarding the electricity prices. Minister Kumar Jayakudi said that we also want to provide electricity to homes as well as industries at the lowest possible rate. It is only by cutting necessary costs that we actually lower the price. The shouting about it in a political platforms won't make it happen that easily, and that they are trying to either maintain the current price or avoid increasing it. Minister Dr. Nalin Jayatissa said that in 2022, 4 official trips were made with 63 individuals participating. In 2023, 14 trips were made with 250 individuals. In 2024, 111 individuals participated in these trips. He said that he has a comprehensive report regarding the lost benefits and the objectives of these trips. The total expenditure for trips made in 2022 was 129 million rupees. For 2023, the cost of trips exceeded 577 million rupees. In 2024, the cost of the trips exceeded 300 million rupees. The total amount spent on these trips exceeds 1 billion rupees. In addition to these trips from 2022 to 2024, there were 10 trips made by representatives of President Ranil Wickremesinghe, in which he himself did not participate. The exact cost of these trips exceeded 19 million rupees. Therefore, the total expenditure on these official trips, including former President and his representatives, exceeded 1 billion rupees.
ඒ අනුව හිටපු ජනාධිපති රනිල් වික්‍රමසිංහ මහතා නිරවචයෙන් සහභාගී වූ සංචාර මෙන්ම එතුමා නියෝජනය කරමින් නියෝජිතයන් සහභාගී වූ විදේශ සංචාර වෙනුවෙන් දරන ලද සමස්ත වියදම 1 බිලියන 27 මිලියන 168,778යි 75ක ලෙස වාර්තා වී ඇත. එන මිලියන 1027ක් වියදම් කරා කියන එක වාර්තා වෙලා තියෙනවා. මම මේ අහන්නේ ඉතා පැහැදිලිවම private jet.
Parliamentarian Harshana Rajakaruna said that he is very clear. Did the president come on a private jet? Not about other meetings. As the president of the country, he has a right to travel using other countries' funds. But the fact is, he arrived in a private jet. A member of parliament said that when the former president went on trips, no one questioned why he went on or what he did. But now when our president travels, people start asking questions. These presidents have travelled around the world and wasted billions of public funds. And not just president, their representatives too have gone around the world wasting people's money. Parliamentarians Harshan Rajakarna said that he is asking a simple question: who paid for the private jet? Minister Vijay Hera said that at the time he has clearly explained this matter. During the Vietnam visit, we participated in two main events. One was a state function to which the president was formally invited. The second was the United Nations annual Vesak celebration. These two events were organized together. Both government of Vietnam and the United Nations were involved, so the entire cost of the aircraft was borne by the Buddhist Committee of the United Nations and the Vietnamese government. Not a single cent of the government or public's tax money was spent. We'll be back with more local news after a short break.
Moving on to more news, the Speaker announced in Parliament today that parliamentarians have been appointed to the service's 6 sectoral oversight committees. This includes 3 new parliamentarians to the Service of Committee on Public Enterprises, along with 6 from the sectoral oversight committees. Accordingly, parliamentarians have been appointed for the Sectoral Oversight Committee on Economic Development and International Relations, Sectoral Oversight Committee on Infrastructure Facilities and Strategic Development, Sectoral Oversight Committee on Educational Workforce and Human Capital, Sectoral Oversight Committee on Health, Mass Media and Empowerment of Women, Sectoral Oversight Committee on Environment, Agriculture and Resource Sustainability, and Sectoral Oversight Committee on Science and Technology and Digital Evolution.
President of the World Bank Group, Ajay Banga, met with President Anur Kumar Dissanayake yesterday at the Presidential Secretariat. This visit marks a milestone as it is the first time in nearly 2 decades that a World Bank Group president has visited Sri Lanka. During the meeting, the discussion centered on strengthening the collaboration to support Sri Lanka's future development agenda. Areas of priority identified include digitalization, tourism, agriculture, infrastructure development, with particular emphasis on identifying short-term rewards, including advancing development in the northern and eastern provinces. The Sri Lankan government's efforts to establish a robust legal network conducive of advancing new investments and recent policy initiatives were also discussed during the meeting. Representatives including Trevor Kincaid, Special Advisor World Bank Group, and Minister Anil Jayant Fernando and Deputy Minister Harshana Surya Peruma attended the meetings. Meanwhile, Prime Minister Dr. Harinyama Surya met with Dr. Ajay Banga, the President of the World Bank Group, at the Prime Minister's office to discuss Sri Lanka's development priorities and the continuation of strategic collaboration. The Prime Minister expressed the appreciation for World Bank's support during the Sri Lanka's recent economic crisis and reiterated the government's commitment to an inclusive and sustainable development. Ajay Banga commended the government's reform agenda and emphasized the importance of job creation and enhancing employment quality as key drivers of the economic recovery. Discussions focused on investment critical in sectors such as healthcare, education, agriculture, tourism, production industries. Ajay Banga also highlighted the potential of the artificial intelligence to transform key sectors, particularly agriculture, encouraged Sri Lanka to explore its application for innovation and productivity. The Prime Minister noted that ongoing efforts to strengthen healthcare policy and expand the technical and vocational education. President of the World Bank Group, Ajay Banga, held a meeting with the Minister of Foreign Affairs, Foreign Employment and Tourism, Vijay Hera. Yesterday, the Minister expressed his gratitude to the President of the World Bank Group for the assistance provided for Sri Lanka in a long time.
According to the Ministry of Education, disciplinary action is being followed by school authorities who were responsible for the incident of a suicide by a 16-year-old female school student in Kotahena area. The National Child Protection Authority is conducting an investigation in this regard, according to the Ministry of Women and Child Affairs. A grade 10 female student committed suicide on the 29th of last month at Kotahena. Her mother has filed a complaint at the Bambalapitiya police station in 2024 alleging that a maths teacher of a school in the Colombo zone had misbehaved with her. The Ministry of Education in a communique states that steps have been taken for a show cause notice from the principal of the concerned school and to transfer the maths teacher who is facing allegations. The communique further states that disciplinary action will be taken once the police investigation report is received. Meanwhile, according to a notification issued by the Ministry of Women and Child Affairs, since no complaint has been received so far by the National Child Protection Authority from the deceased female child's party, her parents will be called to record statements for further investigations. The notification further states that written explanation has been asked for from the Secretary of the Ministry regarding the future course of action since the concerned school comes under the category of national schools. Protests were held in front of the school and several other places at the Duplication Road in Colombo today, requesting for legal procedure regarding the death of the female child.
Pakistani Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif has vowed retaliation on behalf of civilians affected by the recent Indian military strikes.
Meanwhile, the Indian government released a statement confirming that it had successfully intercepted multiple missile and drone attacks launched by Pakistan targeting northern and western regions of India.
According to the reports, an Indian airstrike carried out yesterday targeted Pakistan's Punjab province and the Pakistan-administered region of Kashmir, resulting in the deaths of 31 civilians and injuring many others. Following the attack, Pakistani Prime Minister issued a firm statement promising a strong response in defense of Pakistani citizens. India claims that it had successfully intercepted multiple missiles and drone attacks launched by Pakistan aimed at its military installations. The Indian government further stated that several Pakistani air defense radar systems were destroyed in the strikes, including one located in the city of Lahore. Meanwhile, the Pakistani military reported that it successfully shot down 25 Indian drones overnight. One civilian was reportedly killed and 4 soldiers injured in drone attacks launched by India on various locations within Pakistan. Indian authorities reported that Pakistani shelling resulted in the deaths of 16 individuals, including women and children, in the Indian-administered region of Kashmir. Several others have been reported injured in the attacks. India's Minister of External Affairs S. Jaishankar emphasizes that India has no intention of escalating conflict with Pakistan. However, he firmly stated that any military aggression will be met with a strong and decisive response. Following the closure of Pakistani airspace, Sri Lankan Airlines has temporarily suspended all flights to Lahore with immediate effect. However, the airline confirmed that flights to Karachi remain operational and unaffected. Passengers who had booked flights to Lahore are advised to contact Sri Lankan Airlines for rescheduling or full refunds.
We'll be back with more local stories after a break.
Live from the National News Studio, Sri Lanka.
Moving on to more local stories, Cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa says that the Sri Lankan government has focused its attention towards the Indo-Pakistan crisis following the non-aligned foreign policy.
He added that the government will also act dedicatedly for the regional security at the cabinet briefing held today. The minister also said the National People's Power was able to record the best victory so far in the history of the local government elections. Cabinet spokesman said that Sri Lanka will not mediate in geopolitical conflicts in the Indian Ocean as per the former stance of the country. Sri Lanka will follow a non-aligned policy safeguarding the sovereignty. Sri Lanka will never be used in line with any kind of terrorism, while will provide maximum support whenever and wherever it is required to prevent terrorism. The tri-island holds in high esteem the regional security and the security of the people and the peace within the country. The government and the Ministry of Foreign Affairs will time and again report the stand of the government as per the developments of the situation. Answering a query by a journalist, cabinet spokesman said that the behavioral pattern of the general public has been different during the presidential and general elections and during the local government elections held recently. This can be compared only with another local government election. Citing an example, the minister pointed out that Sajid Premadasa secured 32% of the total votes in the presidential election, but the percentage has been reduced to 21% in the local government elections held recently, since any comparison between the presidential election and the general election is not possible. He further said that Sajid Premadasa had secured 4.3 million votes and 2.2 million votes have been reduced of the total amount. He has been unable to get the number of votes he secured in the presidential election. The government has won 266 local government institutions, which has been the highest number recorded so far in the history by a single party. The minister said the right to establish power in Colombo Municipal Council belongs to the National People's Power. Replying to another question raised by a journalist, cabinet spokesman Minister Dr. Nalinda Jayatissa said that Sajid Premadasa states he will win 14 local government institutions but will not be able to establish an administration with the majority secured by his own party. Although he says that 6 council posts out of 20 in Agalawatta province were secured by the Samajana Balavega, the same way in the 14th local government institutions should also be given to National People's Power in case there are any objections.
The World Bank and the Asian Development Bank have agreed to provide financial support under the framework of full mutual trust for the implementation of a series of high-priority transmission development projects which were identified in the 2023-2032 long-term transmission plan prepared by the Ceylon Electricity Board. 10 projects were identified for implementation within the proposed framework of full mutual trust. Accordingly, the Cabinet of Ministers has approved the proposal presented by the Minister of Power and Energy to take further action relevant to obtaining a $60 million investment package for the development of the proposed grid substation under the framework of full mutual trust offered by the World Bank and the Asian Development Bank, and to secure the risk guarantee facility sponsorship of $10 million provided by the International Development Institute. International competitive bids have been invited for the procurement of 3,000 sets of TKR components for the patient-specific high-flexibility total knee replacement system that is used to improve mobility by replacing a severely damaged or worn knee joint. Only one bid has been submitted for this purpose. The highest level standing procurement committee has recommended awarding the procurement in Singapore for the supply of only 1,000 TKR component sets instead of 3,000 TKR component sets, and recalling bids again from the registered suppliers of the National Medicine Regulatory Authority for following the limited international competitive bidding procedure to supply the remaining amount of TKR component sets. Accordingly, the Cabinet of Ministers has approved the proposal presented by the Minister of Health and Mass Media to implement the aforementioned recommendations. The current election manifesto has proposed to introduce a public prosecutor's office as a mechanism to prevent delays in the judicial system, to establish an independent public prosecutor's office outside the Attorney General's department to hear cases on behalf of the government, and to establish sub-offices in the provinces. Accordingly, the Cabinet of Ministers has approved the proposal presented by the Minister of Justice and National Integration to appoint a technical specialist committee chaired by Mr. Yasantha Kodagoda, Supreme Court Judge and President's Advocate, to study and report on the introduction of a new law from the establishment of such an office, and to forward recommendations for the introduction of necessary amendments to the existing laws when required. The statement of the financial performance for the quarter ending 31st March shall be submitted to the Cabinet on or before 15th May. Accordingly, the Cabinet of Ministers has considered the statement of government financial performance prepared for the first quarter in the year 2025 based on the classification stipulated in the 2025 annual budget estimates, including all specific expenditure units quarter, including the cumulative income and expenditure reported by the special expenditure units, ministries, departments and district secretariats. Sri Lanka Petroleum Development Authority has been vested the powers to call for investment proposals for the offshore petroleum and natural gas exploration plots in terms of the prescribed procedures of the regulations approved by the Cabinet of Ministers. Accordingly, the Cabinet of Ministers has approved the exploration and production of petroleum and natural gas in 4 exploration plots in the Mannar Basin and to obtain the services of a suitable marketing consultant to implement an effective marketing program for that purpose. Samantha Ranasinghe took his oath as a Member of Parliament in the 10th Parliament today in the presence of Speaker Dr. Jagath Wickramaratne. After taking his oath, Samantha Ranasinghe signed in the list of names of parliamentarians in the presence of Secretary-General of Parliament Kushani Rohanadira. Samantha Ranasinghe has been thus appointed to fill up the vacancy created due to the passing away of Kosalanuwan Javira from Kagol district, representing National People's Power.
The Attorney General informed the Supreme Court that the authorities have decided not to construct an expressway as per earlier proposals across the Vilpattu National Park. This notification was delivered when the fundamental rights petition filed against it was taken up before the Supreme Court yesterday. Fundamental rights petition has filed before the Supreme Court by the Environmental Foundation against the construction of the expressway. This was announced when the petition was taken up before a branch of the Supreme Court judges consisting Justices Janak De Silva, Justices Mahinda Samayawardena and Justice Sampatha Bekon. The Deputy Solicitor General Avanti Pereira, who appeared on behalf of the Deputy Solicitor General, accordingly both parties agreed to settle the concerned petition in the court. Anyway, the view has been expressed in the Supreme Court that the expressway which falls across the Vilpattu National Park can be maintained under provisions of Wildlife and Fauna and Floral Act. After recording the agreement, the 3-member bench decided to wind up the hearing. The Supreme Court rejected an appeal filed by former Minister Patli Champika Ranawaka. The Attorney General has filed allegations against him and 3 other respondents pertaining to the covering up of witnesses in connection with a vehicle accident which occurred in Rajagiriya in 2016. Patli Champika Ranawaka had requested through his appeal to quash an indictment order pertaining to the above allegation. Accordingly, the Supreme Court ordered the Colombo High Court to take up for hearing the indictment charge sheet filed against the respondents. The review order has been announced by the Supreme Court Justice Jahanta Kodagoda under the consensus of Justice Murundu Fernando and Justice Gamini Amarasekara.
Sri Lankan cargo has been successful in achieving the CEIV lithium battery certification recently. This has been the first occasion where an airline from South Asian region received this certification. This will remove the obstacles Sri Lankan cargo service faced so far in handling air cargo, which includes sensitive lithium batteries. Along with this new development, Sri Lankan Airlines will be able to create new income avenues in the electronic commercial sector.
ඊට පස්සේ ඔඩිට් එකක් තියෙනවා. ඒකේ ඔඩිට් එකේ රිසල්ට් එක අනුව තමයි අපිට මේක ලැබුණේ. අපි ගොඩක් වැඩ කරා මේක ලබා ගන්න. මේක ගමනේ එක සම්දිස්ථානයක් විතරයි. තව 2-3ක් තියෙනවා ප්ලෑන් කරලා. ටෝටල් සතුන් හැන්ඩල් කරන එකයි ෆාමසිටිකල් හැන්ඩල් කරන එක ඒක ජර්නි එකේ ඉතුරු කොටස. මේකෙන් පස්සේ අපි දැක්කා growth එකක් පහුගිය අවුරුදු 3 තුල කොවිඩ් වලින් පස්සේ ගොඩක් ඔන්ලයින් purchases වෙන නිසා ඔන්ලයින් purchase වල ගොඩක් ඉලෙක්ට්‍රොනික බැටරිස් තියෙනවා. මේ දේවල් හැන්ඩල් කරන්න සමහරක් තැන් වලට capability එක නැහැ. හොංකොං, සිංගප්පූර්.
The construction of the Kandy multimodal transport terminal will be completed in 2027 as per the Deputy Minister of Transport, Highways, Civil Aviation, Dr. Prasanna Gunasena. He stated that while participating in an inspection tour of the facility. This state-of-the-art multimodal transport terminal is being built in the heart of the city of Kandy, integrating public transport and railway sectors. This will provide public with the opportunity to access transportation facilities from Kandy to any part of the country. It will also include supermarkets, restaurants, baking facilities, banking facilities as well. The estimated construction cost will be 25 billion rupees. The World Bank and the government are providing funds for it. The Deputy Minister said that in the future efforts will be made to take such development projects to rural areas as well. We'll be back with foreign news after a short break.
කොත්තුමි ෆන් තමයි.
Moving on to news overseas, the Vatican reported that the first round of papal conclave ends without a decision yesterday, and the second round of voting is scheduled to take place tonight.
The initial round of voting in the papal conclave held today has concluded without a final decision. The second round of voting is scheduled to take place tonight. A total of 133 cardinals have convened for the conclave to elect the new pope. The conclave, which began yesterday, will continue until a new pontiff is elected. To maintain strict confidentiality, all cardinals are sequestered within the Sistine Chapel located adjacent to St. Peter's Basilica in the Vatican. During this period, they are entirely cut off from the outside world. All communication devices, including mobile phones, have been removed from the cardinals and the staff assigned to the chapel. Last night's first round of voting entered without a successful outcome. The first session on the second day began with prayers held inside the Sistine Chapel. However, once again the voting concluded without the election of a new pope. This was signaled by the release of black smoke from a temporary chimney installed atop the chapel, the traditional indication that no candidate has yet secured the required majority. The second round of voting is expected to take place later tonight.
Now on to sports news. Players from schools which were provided with an opportunity to watch the training sessions of the New Zealand rugby team who are in the country to participate in a tournament with Sri Lanka at the CRN FC grounds, the London Palace, Colombo. A large number of school players attended the watch this training session. They also had an opportunity to get the autographs of the New Zealand rugby players. The under 85 kilogram category of the New Zealand rugby team played in the first match against Sri Lanka in the 4th of this month at Nitavela grounds in Kandy. They won the match 50 points to 10. The second and final match is scheduled to be played at the Racecourse grounds in Colombo on the 10th of the month. That's it for tonight's English News Telecast. Thank you for joining us. Good night.
Pleasant night.